In a world with entirely too many shows about cars, this is another pointless automotive podcast.
All right, man. Well, guys, we're back at it. Welcome back to another Pointless Automotive Podcast, episode 105 for those counting at home. And we are so damn pointless that we skipped our 2-year anniversary, Frank.
Man, how did we do that? We got all over our skis about hitting triple digits that we completely and utterly forgot about the existence of a 2-year anniversary, which shame on us.
Not to be confused with our obsession with Triple D.
No,
Guy Fieri.
No, exactly. Yeah, there's little. We've done no talk about drive-ins. We've certainly not really discussed diners, I don't think.
Frank's counting on his fingers.
I am. There's
up to
three.
three.
Out there. Yep. And yeah, very few dives. Although maybe we'll talk about dives today. Are you a big dive bar guy?
Yeah, I'm that's the only kind of bar I like to go to. I like dim lit bars where if I jump off the ground when I have flip flops on, they stick to the ground. That's what I'm looking for. That's my rating system. But to be honest, tell me you don't want to hang out with Guy Fieri. I just think he'd be fucking awesome to go to shitty bars with and play beer pong, and there'd be so many fist bumps and brothers. It'd be so
lots of brothers,
good. So good.
I mean, I'd be obligated to go to Flavortown with him, and that's not even some euphemism. I mean actually go to whatever his local place is. So when I was at exactly. I'm not gonna.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
checks out.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I've never been there, so I've never been in the pure. I've never been around the pure sexual magnetism that is Guy Fieri. So who knows? He might have this event horizon of sexual prowess that if you get too close to him, you just everything's out the window.
Lawrence Fishburne's gonna be there? Was that
just go to the movie Event Horizon?
Underrated movie, by the way.
So should we just continue this path down nonsense?
Let's try that again. Okay, cut. Okay, go.
Hold up.
So this is our 2-year anniversary episode, guys, and what we like to do for these. And all the one time we've done it before is go over no car talk. All right. No car talk. I think we had a penalty of doing shots last time. I think Frank started talking about cars halfway through it. If I remember that.
Yeah, we somehow went off. We
started talking about
we went back to our wheelhouse, but let's stay out of it this time. Right. Let's just talk about stuff. I think last time we kind of went over more into our introspective, into our lives, and maybe we'll do some of that, but probably less historical, I'm thinking, because we talked about kind of the story of what got us here. Right. Maybe let's just talk about other nonsense. And can I just continue talking about Guy Fieri for a minute?
I will allow it.
Okay. So when I went to college at Sonoma State University, which is in Sonoma County,
right next to Flavortown.
It's like a tributary, if you will, into the river of Flavortown. And when I was going there, it was when they were doing the Next Food Network Star, right? Which is how Guy Fieri became, the television persona that we all know and love.
Triple D.
That's right. And so he was on that show, and he is from Sonoma County. He's from Santa Rosa, Healdsburg. I think he still lives in Healdsburg.
Okay.
And so, we would go. He had a couple of restaurants in downtown Santa Rosa, which I don't think are there anymore, but one of them was called Tex Wasabi's, and it was like a barbecue joint / sushi joint. And
That's some fusion, baby.
Gringo sushi, where it would have pulled pork and French fries in it and stuff. But they had when you would go there, it was vote for Guy. It was this is his restaurant. You should vote for him. Because it was a phone in thing.
Oh, okay.
And so, that's 11,000 steps removed from me knowing him. But we're friends, is what I'm trying.
You guys are basically Eskimo brothers at that point.
We are, yes. And rest in peace, Tex Wasabi's. You were delicious, and you were good. I don't think they're there anymore. But
that is quite a Ford Fusion mix-up right there.
How about this? How about here's a good non sequitur. What food? You got like what? How are you got something that's like your favorite food? You how do
We
you?
did.
What's
That's
your food?
exactly how we started the last one.
We did not talk about Guy
We
Fieri.
100, dude. I listened to it on my commute today. The thing is, we started and you were like, "What's your favorite food?" And that's how we went back and forth. It was basically like a Tinder first date at first. You had a pretty good intro.
Yeah,
we
I
did
always
that.
do.
I did
it
seafood.
just falls apart shortly after.
You were like not 100% sure, but you were pretty close on Mexican food being your favorite. You told the story of how you went to England and ate at that shitty Mexican place. Is this ringing a bell, my friend?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It is coming full circle. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about cars instead. No.
Yeah. How about life
um
events? What is new in your life? I know last time we talked about how we had 5-year-old sons. That's changed a little bit.
Yeah. I still have the child, so that is the same. He's now 6. He's going to be 7. That's Frank the fifth. He is now he's still in the car stuff. So he which we're not going to talk about, right?
Nope.
We can't talk about cars.
Hard pass on
but
that.
he's doing drum lessons. So now he's
nice.
He's doing straight up drum lessons, which is dope. That's a lot of fun. And he's taking golf lessons. And so I took him which is a little like sort of hoity-toity, and I don't really play golf. So, but he just enjoys it. We would go to the driving range and I would like drink a beer, and then him and I would eat like French fries and ice cream afterwards. And so it's kind of become a thing. Nice. So now he's taking lessons. And we just this past weekend went on the actual course for the first time. So that was fun. But yeah, man, otherwise, I mean, since the last one, what's new? I'm still here living in the Bay. I've a couple of cars that we're not allowed to talk about have come and gone. I work for Cars and Bids now. So I have a full-time job.
That. That's right.
Which is fun. It's still going. They've yet to kick me out, which is good. And the business is going well, even in like turbulent car market times. It shows no slowing as far as the drop in the compression in the market. So all interesting stuff. It's going to be 2024 here in a minute. How about you? I'm pretty sure you've done 0 things this last year.
Oh fuck no, I don't do shit.
Mr. Button Up.
Yeah, no. Let's see. I got married, have a baby girl on the way. Started a new adult job. So I mean, I've been doing.
Wait, did you get married? Was there a wedding at some point? Oh,
yeah, okay, dude. So yeah, well, that happened. Thanks, man. That was not too long ago. Actually, we kind of did something low key on the coast, Smart. Just a small gathering.
Well done.
Pretty cool. Yeah, baby girl on the way in February, so that's going to be exciting. Totally going to get her into, I can't say it, but Cars.
Yes.
And my wife knows it's going.
The movie way, Cars, so. Actually, the Pixar trilogy.
And then yeah, same thing. Started a new adult job. So been a year.
How adult is this job?
Adult industry. I'm sorry, I didn't clarify that.
You're a casting couch manufacturer.
I'm a casting couch. We talked about casting couch a lot last time too. I'm a casting couch disinfector, if you will.
Yes. Yeah. The anti-fluffer. Yeah. It's an interesting position to hold.
Yeah. It's just to prevent COVID-69. So you got to really clean that casting couch off.
Yeah. You gotta boil that thing. I mean, that's gotta be an actual profession, right? Is to be like, it's somewhere between like being like a hotels, like, room service meets like a crime scene cleanup crew. It's somewhere in between as far as like the level of expertise that you have to have in order to maintain that job.
Jesus.
Good.
Probably.
So we're not allowed to talk about cars. We've already talked about food. I know we've briefly talked about movies. Did we talk about that last time? Like, am I just going to keep treading over the same?
I don't think we did. Yeah, I think we
talked about favorite movie of all time. Go.
We did do that. We did that one.
Bitch. I'm so bad at this.
Have you seen anything good lately? Like any good movies, any good TV?
No,
this is small talk on radio, guys. This is what this is.
Exactly. Yes. We need a live phone in line where other people can talk about their stuff.
Do you and your significant other watch any trash TV?
No, I watch very little TV, and that's not even like me trying to be like, I don't even own a TV. Like I'm too hoity-toity. I'm half too damn busy, and the other half I just don't get into. I think the last thing I actually truly watched was what's the freaking show with the robots? The robot people. Help me out here, brain.
Westworld.
Yes,
Westworld.
thank you.
Dude,
Westworld.
how good. That was the shittiest game of charades I've ever played.
Shit raids.
Right.
Yeah, it was
robot show. 3, 2,
exactly.
1.
It's
Westworld.
like, go. Yeah, Westworld. That was probably the last thing I really sat down and watched. Season 1 was, I still will say, is one of the like a perfect moment in television.
Good.
And
show.
then it went downhill from there, which they all do.
Of course.
How about you? Are you big on like what is it, like 90 Day Fiance? That's a show, right?
Yeah, dude. Know. So my significant other got me into that. And, it's like when you get home at the end of the day, and also pretty busy guy, but it's just a good chill out, like decompress kind of. And it also like it boosts your self-worth when you watch the people on these shows. You're like, holy fuck, I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like that's a significant reason why a lot of those shows are popular. It's just this kind of like reflective, you look, it brightens your mirror, right, when you look into it and you're not like actively smoking meth or whatever. I don't know. I know nothing about that show other than it's trashy television and there's a guy with like no neck. Like
that's part of it. That is definitely part of it. But it's like, it's like a whole perspective thing, right? Like you start to view you like put yourself in their shoes and you're like, good Lord, like that's got to be the worst life ever. And you're like, I'm doing okay. You pat yourself on the back. It's why I watch To Catch a Predator,
Oh, TCAP.
I'm
exactly.
I'm not on any sex offender list, so I'm doing all right, man.
I know. I keep walking that line, but I've just managed to, only reason I can't, I live too close to a high school. So, if I get on that list, I got to move. It's really complicated. So,
isn't it called caulking that line? I think that's what it's called.
Peacocking.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm just thinking. So, and I have to think. I have to think like
thinking how close he is to crossing that line.
Well, no.
The decoys. She was 15.
Exactly. Yeah. She's only 17. No, the I keep like having to like quadruply think over what I've probably already talked about in a year ago's episode. You ever get you getting any good concerts recently? You do live music?
I went to I think I don't know if I talked about it last. I think the last thing I went to live was
Ruben Studdard.
Weird Al. I went to Weird Al with a good buddy of mine, dude. It was bomb. It was bomb.com. It was in Mountain View, and it was an excellent show.
Shoreline?
No.
Okay, good, because I hate Shoreline.
Not Mountain View. I'm sorry. It's
Shoreline is in Mountain View, and I hate it.
No, it's at Mountain Winery in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Oh, okay. I've heard that place is
awesome
a dope venue,
dude. And just Weird Al's hilarious anyway. So it was fucking epic, dude.
I think I'm not like one to be like really shaken up by like celebrity deaths. But when the day we lose Weird Al,
don't say it. Just don't say it.
I'm okay. Oh, sorry. If we ever lose Weird Al, thank you. That will be genuine, profound sadness around the world. Like I don't. Is there more pure of a human being? That's what I thought.
Absolutely not. No. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he certainly above our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, as far as infallibility. Yeah. Maybe maybe the second coming has happened and he's been here the whole time and he's just been Weird Al.
Weird Al, yeah. I could buy that. Can't beat it.
No. Eat it in his version.
He did.
So, I haven't been. What was the last show? The last show I went to was you ever heard of a guy named Bob Log the Third?
I know.
He's a one-man band and he's been playing shows for like 20 something years. He was signed to Epitaph back in the day, if you remember that record label.
Okay, sounds familiar.
And I saw him randomly at up in Truckee. I got a buddy who lives up in Truckee, and I've been wanting to see this guy forever. He does a song called Boob Scotch, which just Google it.
Makes sense. I think I have an idea what it's gonna be about.
Like he plays a slide guitar and he wears like a lycra. Think like Evel Knievel.
Okay.
Except more like lycra and less leather. And he's got a motorcycle helmet with like a a telephone handle stuck on the front with a microphone built into it, and he
Hmm.
plays like a kick drum and a hi-hat with his feet and a slide guitar, and he just plays craziness. And he was giving out toast during the show, like just dry toast. He had a guy making toast the whole time, and then he would hand it out. It was an interesting experience. So I did see Bob Log the Third.
Okay.
And then I'm about to this upcoming Saturday going to go take the kid to go see Dragon Force,
Nice.
which is a UK power metal band, which I'm not even, it's like not my scene at all. But I took the kid to his first show there like a year and a half ago, and he really enjoyed it. And so they're back. And so we're going to do that. That's going to be good. So get some Dragon Force.
That's awesome. Oh man.
What else you doing over there besides
same shit. Starting to, now that it's not like 100 and something degrees every day, got back into fishing. It's nice to be outdoors again. Been doing a lot of outdoorsy stuff, going on some big hikes. Obviously had a lot of trips this past year. We went to Disneyland a couple times, which is like, it's rough. It's super fun. Like the rides are super fun. Don't get me wrong, but like 3/4 of the day is in line and traveling.
Yeah, a lot of days on your feet.
That part's rough. But we did that. We went to Yosemite, which is always a good time. It was pretty warm up there too. And then just mostly a lot of outdoor stuff, a lot of hiking, a lot of fishing, just living it up. And now that the weather's nice, it's really good to be outside again. Also, I got a cat, which was pretty cool. So
you just like, it just like showed up one day, right?
It did, and now it's at our house. Now this house is just a storage, overflow for my car hoarding tendencies. But that cat's super cool. Just was outside the garage one day when I came home in the morning, and I was like, "You need a home. I need a cat." So it worked out.
There we go. It's meant to be.
Super cool cat. She's freaking awesome. But she's a little feral, just like me. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah. That's how Chadwick got fleas. I got fleas once. Have you ever personally had fleas?
I've had cats with fleas because I've always rescued cats and other pets. Sure. But no, I've never personally had fleas.
I definitely have had fleas once. Do you want to hear the story about how one time I personally had fleas?
I'll tell you why I can't get fleas, Frank, because other than my hair, which is getting lower and lower each year, and my beard, Brazilian wax.
Oh, I forgot. You're completely laser removal.
You remember the movie Powder, right? That's essentially me, except for my butt crack, which is like a tropical rainforest in both vegetation and humidity.
Yeah, it's like one of the those like sea sponges that like people keep in their showers. It's like that. But if someone made a sandwich out of one of those,
if I died on Mount Everest like 2 weeks later, you could still warm your hands in my hot pocket. So
that's true. Yeah, that's the good Lord intended.
What you gonna eat? Hot pocket. Okay, good.
Hot pocket. And now with new lean pockets, the one time. So the time I got fleas. So. Again, back to college, Sonoma State.
This is goddamn good podcasting material.
It is. We talk about your body hair or lack thereof strategically. We talk about when I got things that really only animals should be having. So I was lived up in a condo up in Sonoma State, right? It was me, my then girlfriend, now wife, and we had a roommate, but the roommate had moved out, and so we just had this empty room for. It was a while. It was like a year. And so we had this like love seat in the living room, and it was just really old when we got it, and eventually really started falling apart. And so right at the very beginning of winter break, right? Which I think we had a full 4 weeks off. Nice. Right at the very beginning of it, I was like, all right, let me dumpster this old one. And my parents were getting a new couch. It had a couple of dogs. The dogs had kind of chewed this one up a little bit, but it was still like 10 times better than what we had. So I threw the old one out, put the new couch in the living room, and then immediately just left for 3.5 weeks, right? Just like, all right, we're gone, whatever. What I didn't know was that the dogs had fleas. The fleas had a couch. I now had a couch full of fleas, and they were hungry because they were like
very
living
hungry.
It up, feasting on dogs. And then a month later, they were just in there not eating anything for a month. So we come back, everything's great. A couple of days later, I'm just like, why am I so itchy? Like, what is happening? And for whatever reason, poisoned blood, I don't know, but they didn't go after my wife at all, period. Just me. And there were no animals in the house. And so they sustained off of me for like a week until Like I was trying to I would buy like the spray, like all the spray the carpet, nothing. Couldn't get rid of them. You'd see them bouncing around the carpet.
Oh my
so
God.
I had to do like a 7,000 square foot mansion worth of bug bombs in like this 680 square foot condo. And that finally did it.
Damn.
But yeah, it was bad. I mean, it was like multiple animals worth of hungry fleas and only me to live off of. Not good. Don't get fleas.
Tasty Frank's blood emporium. I was gonna say you probably had crabs. You were just trying to make it sound like you didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Damn it. Crabs. The crabs are from the dogs. I swear. It's like, that's not better. No lice, no crabs, no scabies. You have to get scabies.
Made it this far without
parasites, tapeworms.
Probably a tapeworm or two. You know, I think we all got something.
Yeah. You just just suddenly lose like 30 pounds in like the course of a month because on the tapeworm diet. It's organic, right?
Right.
You have any noteworthy parasites while we're on the subject, or should we move on?
Not currently. Yeah, hard pass.
Yeah.
No, same old stuff, man. Another year. I can't believe we've been doing this for 2 years, dude.
Yeah,
it's absolutely wild. I know we just had our 100th episode extravaganza, but yeah, the fact that we had 2 years is pretty freaking amazing.
I know. What the hell? What are we gonna do in the next year? I feel like we tried to prognosticate a little bit last time. And I don't. It sounds like you've listened to it more recently than I have, so I don't know how much of those prognostications we hit. We probably were like, we're gonna have a bunch more guests on, and we're gonna get sponsored, and all of these things are like, we've had like 4 guests since then, and
we were pretty good because I think we talked about more like that on the 100th episode. So like,
sure,
the 1 year anniversary was just like we totally just went off the handle. We talked about like you said, our origin stories and a bunch of stupid shit like that. But
maybe we should have just gone off the handle, and we each should have had like a handle of like bottom shelf gin that we drink during the course of this episode.
It's disturbing.
And then it's like a 3.5 hour episode each, and it's like 2 hours of it are just blubbering nonsense, which it kind of already is.
It is. We'll just keep it going. I mean, that burp I just did, I do apologize for doing that outward, but I don't apologize for the flavor. I just had some really good carnitas tacos, and there's like fresh carnitas coming up.
See, Mexican food. Telling you, it's where it's at.
It's good.
That's where it's at. The wow, what did I say? Hardcore drugs? You ever do any of those? No, I don't know. I'm trying to like.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't know. 2 weeks since I did some crack.
Yeah, that's what we get to 300. We smoke crack. That's what we.
I'm pretty. To be honest, like to be completely honest here.
Yeah.
Not on the record. I don't have an addictive personality, so I think I could try crack once and like get a good idea of what it was like and just back away. I think I could do it. I think I could not throw my life completely away and just try crack once.
Do you think we can make that like a popular new like TikTok trend, the smoke crack challenge?
Once.
Yeah, only one, like, but it has to be like a huge hit, like just one like bong rip of crack.
You'll die. Cocaine. You will die. I think it's going to be a good enough one that you feel it. But I think if you go back for round 2, you've already lost your life, right? That's the problem. If you're like, I don't know if I got a good enough sample on that one. Let me go back and try it again. That's the hook.
Can you smoke anything out of a bong? Like, I don't know. I'm not.
No, I don't think crack's the same. I think you got to melt it like the crack rock.
Okay, it's like burning soap or whatever.
Yeah,
like, can you do a bong rip of meth, or will you just like instantly die?
You would die. Well, I mean, is it even meth anymore? No one even does meth. It's all fentanyl or whatever.
Well, okay, bong load of fentanyl seems like 100% suicide rate.
Highway to the danger zone.
Yes. Yeah. So we won't go off on Jankum again, but like the I don't know. Crack, smoke it.
I think I could do
it. Brought to you by crack cocaine.
Aren't you just like, and it's part of my like science background where I want to like test a theory and see if it's true, and just I want to see what all the hype is about. Like, right? Don't you want to do it and be like, okay, man, I get it, but
I don't know. Like, I don't,
because you never know, right?
You never know. Addictive personality, so I think I'm there, but like, my family history is a whole other can of worms. And I don't want to be like the one guy to be like, I'll just smoke meth once. Like, I've seen those posters in the Central Valley and like truck stop bathrooms,
Yeah.
Meth,
not even once.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, next time, I do bath salts once, or all of a sudden I'm eating someone's face, you know, I have seen somebody on the street selling whippets, like pre-cracked, like full balloons of just nitrous oxide. It's
I
like
always
whippets,
question
buy some
what's in
whippets.
there. I think 1 out of every 10 of those balloons is just like a really nasty fart in there, and just
So this is what it's like.
that's the good shit.
Yeah, there's got to be somebody selling that online, right?
Yeah,
Like,
farts. Yeah,
yeah,
there was like this chick that was selling.
that was a
She was
bathwater, right?
no, she was selling her farts in jars. She had fart
No,
in jars, and she had intestinal something was wrong, like
like
really bad
IBS or something.
pain. She had to go into the hospital because it was because of her diet. So she was eating high, like way too high proteins and other things to create farts,
Just
like this
like borderline
extra
just meat
smell.
and like onions and.
Yeah, so it made her like terribly ill. So she had to stop doing that. And I'm like,
Mm.
what's the workers' comp situation where you're farting in jars job?
Well, it depends. If she's freelancing, I think she's probably on her own. But if she was in some like weird bizarro, like the Matrix-esque, like
Bro,
human farming apparatus, then
weird.
yeah,
You said weird bizarro, like it's okay to be a freelance jar farter. It's
that's
acceptable.
called being entrepreneurial. Okay.
That's
If you're in some sort of like weird cage with like a robot like milking you for your flatulence, I feel like that's a different, then it becomes weird, like
when that story broke, I think I stared like into the eyes of whoever told me, and I'd be like, I've been doing this my whole life for free.
I was born for it. Exactly. You guys are getting paid, but
I'm here to break hearts and bust farts.
Right. How about this? If you were going back to like the Tinder asks,
Okay. Yeah.
and away from hardcore borderline drugs like
Mhm.
human flatulence, if you were to eschew all of your car
Nope.
like
You said cars.
hobbyage. No, I'm saying if you were to not ever have anything to do with cars, like i.e. this podcast right now, what would it be? What would your poison be? I know you mentioned going outdoors and fishing and stuff like that. Would you be doing fishing videos, or like
Are you,
would you
oh,
become would you do
like
would you be an
Survivor Man.
artist? Yeah, would you be
Ooh,
not Bear Grylls, not that guy. Who's the other? Les Stroud, right? That's the Survivor Man.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, like what would be driving you? Would you be gun guy? Would you be we've already talked about crack. What would your hobby be? I don't know. What do you
Crack guy.
what,
Next question.
yeah.
But no, seriously, that's a tough one, man. Because like I've had a lot of hobbies. I do like guns. We talked about that last one. You talked about paintball.
Yeah.
And those were cool hobbies before. So I had to like draw the line at one point in my life because I'm a fucking huge nerd, dude. So I used to play like Magic ever since it came
Mm-hmm.
out in like I started in like 1994. And I had amassed
Daniel.
quite a huge collection from tournament winnings and stuff like that. And I used to play a lot. And I don't know what it was. I think it was the strategy aspect of it. I really enjoyed that. And I liked collecting things,
Yep.
probably even more than the game itself. But it is a pretty awesome game. But I used to do a lot of stuff like that. So probably I'd be doing better. I had to draw the line because like I was really getting really into cars, like buying cars
Yeah.
and having more projects instead of just having a cool car. I wanted to have more stuff, and I
Sure.
couldn't balance both those hobbies. They were just extreme bandwidth hogs, right, and
Mm-hmm.
personal time. And this is
You had
obviously
me at extreme hogs
yeah, yeah, you know it.
with hogs.
Not talking about Harley Davidsons either.
Mm-mm.
But no, it's just they're both like time sinks, and I had to draw the line, and that's when I like traded in my Magic cards for an NSX, which I thought was the best way to usher in one dominant hobby. To shift that focus, but I'd still probably be doing that stuff because I still really enjoy that, man. I was a big Dungeons and Dragons guy and Magic the Gathering, and I just love that kind of stuff. So I'd probably be still doing that stuff if I didn't have cars.
Yeah, and for me, and again, not to like trip over what we talked about on the last epi, because yeah, I did some of the paintballs. I think one that I like have casually been interested in and dabbled in a little bit, but like you ever fuck with like vintage like stereo equipment stuff, like for a house, like a cool like studio receiver and like old 70s, 60s, and 70s speakers and like a turntable and all that stuff.
Yeah, like the tubes and everything. I would love. My dad was into that stuff, and I kind of really enjoyed that he had that shit. And it's just very expensive to relive that stuff because because in that time period, like I'm thinking back to the 80s and 90s, that stuff was very affordable. And most of it being from the 70s, early 80s. It's money. It's insane, but I would love to fuck around with that kind of stuff because I'm a big. We're talking about movies and stuff. When I watch movies, I can't listen to like the factory speakers on a television. I need to have surround. I'm big on that kind of stuff, and I'll tune the picture to be correct too, so it's not too like I hate that screen interpolation bullshit of like 120 hertz refresh. So I set everything, that motion smoothing, the soap opera mode. I walk into people's houses and I'm like, get the shit out of my face.
60 refresh. Get out of here.
I respect good visual and good audio quality too. So I have like an old vintage record player that I play my vinyl on, but
sick.
I would love to fuck around with the high end stuff.
Yeah, I was recently kind of poking around it because when I was in high school, middle school and high school, I got like a hand-me-down system from my mom. And it was like a late 70s brand called Concept, which was like a house brand for like a West Coast audio place.
Okay.
Think Good Guys, but only audio back in the day. And it was called like Pacific Sound or something like that. Anyways, they're known for actually being really good. And at the time I was like, oh, this thing's sick. And so I had one of those and a cassette player and, the separate cassette player with the separate turntable with the separate CD player all stacked and a bunch of speakers. And, at the time it wasn't worth anything. And I think suddenly the receiver stopped working. And so I just like left it on the curb or something dumb. And now they're worth money. And so I don't know, maybe 7-8 years ago, I was at a flea market and I picked up a mid 70s Marantz, which is like a nice receiver from the 70s. It was like it's like a 35 watt 2-channel, like kind of not real low end, but like lower middle end stereo. I paid $90 for it, and it needed work, so I cleaned it up. I cleaned all the potentiometers out, and I replaced all the bulbs, that little incandescent bulbs for the backlit, with LEDs, and put it all back together. And I paid $90 for it then, and I had probably another $30 worth of parts in it. And now I look, and like one of those, a clean one, there's people are selling for like $800, $900.
Fucking wild, yeah.
And this was like, let alone if you had like one of the higher end ones, people are selling for like 30 grand. Just truly madness. But I can see a world where I get like really deep into the woods on that, where it's just like all of the things, like all of the nice stuff, and like probably wouldn't even be able to tell the difference realistically between like an $80,000 setup and like an $800 setup.
Oh,
I mean, a little bit, but we know that problem with cars, which we're not allowed to talk about today. Where like, you just get it's just being nerdy for the sake of nerdy. But and then old film camera stuff. I still have a whole collection of that here at the house. So yeah, that's nothing new. But yeah, audiophiles, man, it's a whole world.
It's good shit. Yeah, I can appreciate that stuff. But we might as well move into our automotive print ad section of our show. And apologize for the listeners to listening to us just talk nonsense, but that makes sense because it was pointless. But anyway,
and we got to talk about smoking crack again, which is always listener favorite.
Someone's doing it one of these days. That's all I'm saying. But and me.
Can't wait.
So we're about to do our automotive print ad quiz game show with a name so fine. Why change it, dude? It's so descriptive. It's so original. But anyway, the focus of this game is we read a periodical, a magazine, a published ad, a sales ad for a vehicle from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. The other person, and this time it's me guessing. So, God, I hope I get this. Frank's going to read the ad, omitting anything that gives the vehicle away because that's no fun. And then I get 3 guesses and 10 minutes on the clock to guess that vehicle. Every time I fail miserably, fall on my Johnson. Frank gets to help me out, which is really, really good. And he gives me horrible clues sometimes, so it doesn't help that much. But this is the game, man. This is the game. And
don't hit the player, hit the game.
I'm ready to go when you are, sir. So let me shut the old lappy of crappy here and lay it on me.
All right. So we've got a 2-pager. The car is we're looking at like it's traveling from left to right at speed. It's a nice rolling shot. It's almost exactly on the passenger's like broadside, except it's a little bit of an angle, so you can kind of see the emblem on the front and the grill and the front bumper. And the ground appears wet, moist, damp, if you will. Then it says, revise your ETA. While the blank sports sedan won't eliminate traffic, it will certainly help you negotiate your way through it. For acceleration, a 3.0 liter, 185 horsepower, 24 valve V6 engine. For nimble handling, progressive power rack and pinion steering. And for sudden stops, a 4-sensor, 3-channel anti-lock braking system. Maybe all of this helps explain why the blank sports sedan garnered one of Automobile Magazine's, and I'm going to tell you the year, Automobile Magazine's 1992 All Stars Awards in only its first year of production, which, as you might have guessed, is way ahead of schedule. Ooh. That's it.
Okay.
But there's some good clues in there.
For once, do you have a timer you can start, my good man?
Yep.
Awesome. For once, you've given me horsepower facts. It's been a long time since you've offered me. It's been pretty scarce. So it was a 3-liter, 168 horsepower?
185.
185. Sorry. Yeah. Whoa, way better. 92, first year of this model. I took
that. It just says 1992's awards in only its first year of production.
Cool. So hints, 92.
Hints abound.
I got
1992 V6, 24 valve, sports sedan.
Good motor. Yeah. What else was really good in there?
ABS.
I thought I had it until you said ABS, and then I kind of threw me. So that horsepower figure, that's a good number for a 3-liter in the early 90s, actually. Doesn't say if it's front wheel drive, rear wheel drive.
Does not.
Sounded a little luxury, but we, as you know, from this period, we don't know. Like the cars that aren't luxury cars sound amazingly like luxury cars in the print heads. This is kind of a tough one. That I'm actually not. I got a few cars that are in that power range. I think it sounds like it's V6 Accord and Camry power levels. I think those would be pretty close to that.
Potentially.
Did the Accord have a 3-liter though at that time? I don't think so. Maybe.
1992.
Yeah, they had something. All right. This is tough. Let's just go ahead and say it's not fancy enough, but I'll take a first guess here. I'm going to go ahead and say 1992 Toyota Camry, and I believe it was the SE with the V6.
I think technically you can get a Toyota Camry in the V6 in an XLE.
Yes.
I think the LEs were only 4-cylinder.
Did they have XLEs in 92?
I think so. The gold, I can picture the gold badging. Suffice it to say, this is not a 1992 Toyota Camry.
Okay.
Trying to come up with a good hint here. You're close. I guess that's
in what respect? You're close. Best assist ever. You're close.
In every respect.
Okay.
If I
close in every respect.
You're close in every respect.
'92 3-liter V6. 180 something ponies.
185.
First year. Close.
So it was not the first year of the Camry.
I just connected it because close in every way. I get what you're saying. Now I pick it up. Is this going to be, and this is why it sounded more luxury. I don't know why I didn't lead with this. I'm going to take another guess. It's going to be a 1992 Lexus ES, and the 300 is very important because that's the displacement on this one. Final answer.
Yes. Yep, that's it. Yeah, it's I'm going to send you.
Damn, how have we not done that car?
I don't know. So there's a link to it, but
I know the Camry didn't come out in 92, but I think they had a new generation start in 91 or 92.
So you got the new generation Camry, and then the ES was based on the ES 300, because the ES 250 was before with the 2.5 liter V6.
Right.
From that, what is it, third gen?
Oh, that's a
second gen Camry.
That's a good looking ad too.
It's a good looking car, man.
They are, dude. So
I almost, as a hint, I almost said it's two-tone because I feel like all of these damn near are two-tone.
And they're almost all silver and beige, that combo, gold and silver or whatever.
Or like gold and like a darker gold, or like red and like a maroon, or black over silver, dark green over silver. Yeah.
Dude, good quiz. Like, honestly, I can't believe we haven't done this car. And then fuck, that was a little tough. Like that number didn't jump out.
That's why I had to leave the year in there, because normally I'd blank out the year, but on this one, and then to be like in its first year as a model would have been like kind of, it's sort of an indescript. I mean, there's actually, are there a lot that are 185 horsepower twin cam V6?
So
I know era? I mean, there's a lot that are close.
The Accord was kind of ballpark. I don't know if it was a twin cam, but the V6 horsepower was pretty close.
And not twin cam. It was later. Yeah, because the twin cams were only
in the 4 cylinders.
4 cylinders, and then the NS. Well, what year? Yeah, when you had the 2.3. Well, the 2.3 was a single overhead cam. Was the H23? I don't know. Like it's really not my area of expertise. I know there was the 2.7, I think, was in that generation. 92 it wasn't though. 92 there was no V6 until the refresh in 94.
Gotcha. But that horsepower number is pretty close to what the Accord and Camry were at. It's a little bit more.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same powertrain as the Camry. Exactly. Yeah.
So I was like,
so you got that. It was just different badge. But yeah, ES 300. Get one of those early ES 300s with a manual.
I stare at those I look for those manuals constantly. That'd be such a good grab to find a decent one of those in good shape.
Yeah, I mean they're not out there. But that would be a killer. That would be a killer daily. You know what?
Absolutely killer.
You know what's kind of re-piqued my interest lately? Would be to find a decent manual IS 300.
So
not $1 billion.
I've been watching those, and they're just the ones that are manual got trashed because, I thought was a good deal on a manual one. Yeah, welded diff, all the stupid shit to it. That just would ruin that car for me. But you cannot find them. Two things: if they're cheap, they're thrashed. If they're if they're not thrashed, they're freaking like 12,000 to some insane number for what the car is, like 200, and you'll have 200,000 miles.
Yeah, 220,000 miles on it, and it'll be only wrecked 3 times and like kind of back together mostly. And
how about this though? If you could get the IS 300 Sport Cross in a manual, how fucking dirty would that be?
That'd be that move.
That'd be a daily.
Oh yeah, that would be an extremely cool daily. It's. I always thought that like an IS 300 with a manual is like the quote unquote. I hate this term, but I'm going to use it anyways. The thinking man's E36 M3, because it's similar power. It's not not quite as spicy as a motor. It's a little heavier. It's a little softer, but like it will work forever. Although I just sold on Cars and Bids a 306,000 mile E36 M3. So apparently you keep cooling systems in those. I
love the gauge cluster and the IS 300, how it looks like a wash.
Yeah, the chronograph style. Yep.
The what was I just gonna say? So the big thing about that car is there were no manual gearboxes. Lexus put it in the IS 250, which is not a good engine. afterwards. That's the only more.
Oh, the model after the 350s and 250s. Yeah.
Yep. So you can get, but if they would have dropped a 6-speed manual in that IS 350, that would have been an enthusiast fucking car to die for, because it's 300 horsepower, rear wheel drive, great balance, good looks. I think they still have aged incredibly. If they came with 6-speed manuals, that would be a fantastic car.
Is there anyone out there doing that swap? There's got to be someone, right?
I bet. Yeah, but you know how it is.
Out of an IS 250. Oh yeah, I know how it is. It's going to be a shit show, right? Like you don't do that just to have it's stock, otherwise stock, right? Like there's going to be all kinds of madness. If
they had done that, I think Lexus would have created a long-term like enthusiast vehicle. I think everybody would, because I mean, who doesn't want that naturally aspirated V6 that's super dead nuts reliable, good power output?
Yeah, reliable and
good looking sedan.
Yeah, when those came out, I was like, damn, like that was a hot
they
car.
Still look good. If you look at the front profile of that car in your rearview mirror with the way the fenders haunch out over the front, it just looks good. Like they didn't have to do that much to the ISF to make it differentiate, because the 350 looks so good. God damn, if that was a manual.
I know.
That's all I got.
Oh well, I would still eat like an empty printer cartridge in order to like have the like a 6-speed of the new IS 500.
Oh boy.
Which, that's, very wishful thinking, but anywho, that would be a lovely experience.
Well, should we celebrate partaking in some PCP?
Oh, we should actually. I know
we talked a lot of shit earlier.
We did. Let's do
Car Progress.
Oh, damn. Okay, I'll put this lighter away. Yeah, we can do that. And I actually, what progress have I made? I got the clutch pedal on the Galant adjusted correctly. So it actually got to the point where, I drove it a fair ways, and then on my way back, like the last 10 miles, like on the freeway, if I would lean into the throttle, anything more than half throttle, and the clutch would start slipping.
Oh wow!
Like it had like kind of settled itself in to where it was like, that's how high up the uptick was. So I parked it for a few days, and I got that dialed in. And then I took the 924 out, the little green one.
Oh.
I took it on the Breakfast Club rally, the BCR rally, which is up in the North Bay. It was Calistoga, and then like 100-ish mile loop around Calistoga throughout Napa and Oakville and Yountville and some really swanky places. Good drive. Yeah, and I'm just gonna tease that it is now parked in front of the house, and it won't start. But there's but I know why, and it's such a minor fix, but it's just colossally annoying to do. So I need to spend like half an hour just like huffing and puffing and grunting to be able to fix it. So maybe I'll tease that for the progress. Maybe I'll have made the full progress for next week, and I can share what I had to do. How about you? Have you huffed and puffed and blew your house down yet, or what?
I don't have the NX in the background. I actually got all the suspension components put in. The sway bar, the aftermarket sway bar, which was like nothing's ever a direct fit on weird cars. You know how it goes. So I had to get creative with spacers and everything. Sway bars are kind of interesting because they just need to be firm for lateral movement, but you can kind of mount them. It's kind of weird. You can mount them anything. You can mount them to control arms. You can mount them to, strut towers or coilovers, anywhere where it's going to have a firm movement side to side. So the thing with running an aftermarket suspension setup is I couldn't use the traditional control arms, so I had to use an aftermarket supplied one to go with that aftermarket sway bar. It was just it was a hassle, so that was a big engineering feat on my part, but I finally took it to an actual motorsports shop nearby. And I'm getting corner balanced, I'm getting new 200 treadwear tires put in, because I redid everything. So obviously the steering wheel on the drive over was completely 90 degrees, the car pulled to the left. But I did all the steering stuff too, like outer tie rods, inner tie rods, control arms, every bushing's replaced.
Excellent.
So it's going to be awesome, dude. Corner balanced, adjustable. And these are really good coilovers where I can adjust height and, softness. So I'm doing like a mid height, but really soft. So it'll be compliant on roads, but 200 treadwear tires. This thing's going to be a fucking ripper, dude.
That'll be cool. Hell yeah.
super excited to get that back. Even driving it over there, that engine it's one of the smoothest revving. I forgot how smooth the SR20 is. Like I was manually revving it under the hood and we're at 180,000 miles and that thing just purrs like 6,000, 7,000 RPM, doesn't even care. But it's going to be proper. So with all that work, you might as well do it right. So.
Hell yeah. No, well done. No, that's cool. I'm glad it's out on the road. What's the plan for it? What are you gonna do? You're gonna find a new home. You're gonna rally it at least once first. What are your
I wish there was a rally coming up soon. I would definitely jump on that because I'll probably have to unload it because we're gonna have to consolidate some cars soon. But the plan is get it back from that. It's never been registered in California, so I got to do smog and all that, and then do some beautification. So there'll be some interior stuff I need to do, and exterior needs a lot. So I'm gonna try to do it because even if I make it look kind of shitty, it's still better than full shitty.
Right.
So I still got some plans. Obviously, it's going to be a really fun review, and I'll definitely take it out for some fun drives.
Sweet.
Thing's a beast. I'll maybe hit some like Cars and Coffees and other shows because you just don't see those freaking cars. The guy at the suspension place is like, I haven't seen one of these since the 90s. I'm like,
yep. That's why I have it. That's why it's mine.
Yeah. Good little car.
Very cool. Well, 2 years, homie.
2 fucking years, my man.
You did it. I don't know how. To 4 more years. 4 more years.
Oh God.
Yes.
Impeach us.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, but I didn't inhale. Well, yeah. Thanks for
the crack. You didn't inhale the crack.
Yeah.
I did crack, but I didn't inhale.
Do people like French inhale crack? Anyways, thank you everybody for listening along and putting up with our nonsense. Chadwick, thanks for putting up with my nonsense. If the people, baby. Yeah, boy. If the people want to see you misbehave personally on the interwebs, how would they track you down and how would they watch you do such things?
Yeah, rotten.com. Honestly. So yeah, Auto Obsessive Garage, YouTube mostly. You can see my rescues, restorations, and reviews. Some stuff on the Instagram, same name. And how about you, Frank, your personal endeavors? Where can they track you down?
Yes, you can find me on the Instagrams and the YouTubes. Generally, that's going to be the Photographer's Garage or Garage, depending on your pronunciation of words. If you want to continue to follow us, however you're listening to this, just keep doing what you're doing. If you're not watching us, you can stare into our souls and participate in the uncanny valley that is the video feed of this that's on the YouTube. So look up APA Podcast and or another Pointless Automotive Podcast there. We have a semi-abandoned Instagram that's at APA Podcast. And thanks, guys and gals, and everyone else, the puppies, the kitties. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. But we'll catch you guys on the next one. As always, take care.
That's it.